What's the magic number of points that we think is enough to keep us up?
I think
10, 9 or 10.
10 more points. So
I don't think 30. I don't think 39 points goes down.
I honestly think it could be higher, much higher this year than usually.
I think we need
40.
43 or 42.
I
think you guys are giving Leeds, Forest, and West Ham. Look, I think it's also one of those things where we look at them, and because of how bad we are, any team looks a lot better than us.
No, but they're in good form. They're in good form.
Yeah,
West Ham have lost
West Ham are.
one in
Forest
6,
aren't.
sorry. Yeah, they just got a new manager, and they've got good players. They do have good players.
And they're playing good
right?
football.
Forest's situation is probably the only situation that's comparable and worse than ours. That's what I'm saying. Forest are in no better. They have good players.
They don't have the injuries we do, and they do have good players available.
Ariane, they've just had 2 really good performances since the new manager has come in.
Yeah.
They sacked Deitch when he was 1 loss in 6 as well. It wasn't exactly like they were tanking massively.
If we play Forest tomorrow, Forest absolutely batter us.
I disagree. But I disagree. We do play them, and I think we win that game. To be honest, I think we win that game because
that's in 3 games, right?
Yeah,
4 games.
I think
4 games.
Look, I don't think
we need to win before then.
The team we do. I agree, we do. But what I'm saying is, even if we don't have one, a game like that could be the one. Because look, that's a relegation 6-pointer. That's the game that gets someone going. That's the game that would get these players going. I think of all the games that we have.
I don't think we beat Forest. I really don't.
I don't think either.
This is the wonderful thing about things like this, because when the game's coming up, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong.
The 3 of us are going to be 100% right, and we're going to be laughing and 33 to 1. We
definitely won't be laughing, Brains. I'll tell you that.
No, we'll be crying, but a momentary laugh at Ariane,
what I'm
and then crying again.
Is I'm not saying that it's not going to happen for sure. I'm not saying that it's not a disaster. I'm just saying I think we've got just about enough to be, get out of this. My concern, and I said 6 years arbitrarily, but my concern is like Everton, West Ham. What actually separates us in this situation? Because West Ham on a relegation battle right now. Do you remember 5 years ago? It was 5 years ago when Lanzini made it 3-3 in the last minute. They were flying. They looked like they were part of. They were in Europe. They won a Conference League. It looked like for them that their club was going on the up and up, and now they're here. What is different from that to now? What's the difference?
This is the point, Arian. You are worried about a catastrophe that's coming 6 years down the line when we're telling you that it's here already, and now is the time to worry. There's no point worrying about tomorrow. Here is the problem.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if we survive this catastrophe, we haven't survived anything.
Yeah, but that's something. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course. Right? We need to sell the club. Everyone knows
we can worry about next season and 6 seasons times catastrophe after we've saved ourselves this season. We need to save ourselves this season.
We'll save ourselves.
And it looks bleak, man. It looks so bleak.
It's so bad. It's horrible. But I just think we have just enough. I think we have just enough.
I mean, I think on current evidence we don't.
I don't think you can go.
But the evidence is based off of a situation that we're not in anymore. Like I think everyone can agree.
In that situation.
We are in that situation.
No.
What are you talking about?
Look.
Basically, Arian, you require hope, and what we're saying is
don't bother.
There is no hope.
All the evidence looks bad, and from a stoic point of view, you prepare for the worst, and you'd be surprised when the worst doesn't happen. Although you don't fear the worst because you know there's a big chance it can happen, and therefore you go forward into battle a little bit strong, Marcus Aurelius type thing,
right?
Where you're just going, no, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not going to get relegated. Your American optimism is not going to work here.
It's gonna work here. I don't think
we'll get relegated. To the UK, Aaron.
I don't think it's going to get relegated. Yeah, maybe it's because it fucking rains there every day. It's sunny outside right now. All right,
I know. We can't stand your bloody optimism with your bloody sun.
Ariane, you need to come to London for a year. We need to grind you down.
Yeah, that's what happened, man. It was raining here for 3 days, and I wanted to kill myself.
I need you to become a cynic. That's what it is. That's what life for Tottenham fans about being.
No fan worldwide, if they came to London and try to walk around and get a kind of feel of what Spurs fans think of Spurs, no fan would go, yeah, this is the club I'm gonna support. Because it's just like they won't get the vibe. It's like every Spurs fan sounds like they hate the club to death. Why would I want to support this? But the realization is it's not the club. It's a love for the strip, for the history, for what the club means. It's a painful stab in the heart to see who runs the club and what they've done to our beloved club, to the point where when players go in, they get this beautiful corporate, beautiful big animal that they don't deserve yet. That is not a football club. That is not, you don't want to go to work every day and work in a fucking spa. You want to go to a football pitch. You want to walk out on a pitch that's muddy and play football better. You don't want to be treated like gods. And then kind of your wages are shorter because you're getting treated like gods. That's not going to cut it. You have to build an actual football club. And actually, the reality is what Wrexham have done to their club since bringing American actors in has revitalized it to no end. And they've slowly but surely built themselves back up to a good football club. And we are going the other way. We have no structure. We have no idea what to do in transfer windows. We have no idea how to keep 22 players fit. We fired a legendary physio and went on LinkedIn and hired 12 junior physios.
Who was the legendary physio?
Jeff Scott.
The guy, Jeff Scott, who was the head physio, who was at Spurs for a long time, was also a very top-class physio that had been across all sports and was really renowned in the game. And he was ousted, and then they literally went on LinkedIn and hired 12 juniors. How can you keep players fit? Junior physiotherapists have no idea how to recover a football player because they've never been in that situation, and that's what we have. It's horrifying.
With the injury crisis that we have, you go injury by injury, and it's easy to look at the medical staff right now. But look, we've got how many ACLs do we have here? Look, we've got 2 ACLs. I have it, which is not.
No, I've not got 2 ACLs. We've got
Ariane, you're picking on the wrong person if you're going to talk about injuries here.
we have 5 ACLs in the last 18 months. In football history, there is no club that has had 5 ACLs in 18 months. That is an inherent, horrible problem that's inherent in the club. That is a med team that do not understand how to.
But look, an ACL
is a product is a product of overloading. If you don't buy enough players and you're forced to use the same players over and over, it's gonna come. It's gonna happen. So that's just what happens.
Right. So then, here's the thing: almost any injury is made more likely by fatigue, right? So, and an ACL is among the worst. Probably not quite the way you probably say an Achilles is the worst injury you could get, but an ACL is up there. You know, you've got right now Odobert and Madison. You've got Kulusevski, who has apparently had his knee sniped off of his right leg.
But that was an ACL that's become worse. Yeah,
it wasn't an ACL. It was a patella, right?
The medical team tried to get him to run it off.
You've got 3 muscle injuries, and then you've got a toe injury and an ankle injury that are contact injuries. That to me doesn't seem like it's. And I think this is kind of like a really weird tangent. It's not very relevant to the rest of the context of the season.
No, I think injuries are massively relevant. I mean, our last
they're relevant in terms of that they've affected
decimated.
Us, but I think it's like, I think not all of it, but a good amount of it you can not chalk up to, but say this is pretty rotten luck at the end of the day too, right?
Well, then Spurs are the most unluckiest team that has ever existed. You can't believe that we're the most unluckiest team that's ever existed.
Why can't I believe that? Why can I not believe that?
Because that's like Arsenal blaming the weather when they
because I can give you an example. I can give you an example of something, right? You want to look at a season where look at Liverpool from 2019 to like 2021. What was their did they not have a massive good luck with injuries at that period? Mm-hmm. Very few of their players got injured.
Like we did under Pochettino.
Constantly.
We got very lucky.
We did under Pochettino. Look, and even I think we did on the Pochettino maybe in the last year. I think Kane, for example, didn't get injured from 2020 to even. I don't think he got injured since 2020, besides maybe a couple game here and there. We had some very good luck, and then it's all hit the fan in the last couple of years, last 3 years. But I think that's kind of like a thing that ebbs and flows. And there's also a luck element, right?
No,
but, I've gotten big into baseball. I'm saying I've gotten really, really big into baseball.
I'm sorry
He's given up. He's given up on Tottenham.
And in baseball, there's 162. There's 162 games in a baseball season. It's a lot. They play every day, right? There's 38 in a Premier League season. What that does is like the value of each game and any little volatility to your injury, like that stuff, it can be so massive because if you lose 3 games in baseball, the best team loses 70 games. The best teams lose 70 games a season. You lose 5-6 games in the Premier League, you can't win the title. Right? You lose 10, you can't. You probably won't be in the Champions League. Right? So that's how like slim the margins actually are. Right? Like, in my points, it might be 9, but that's 3 games. So when we have rotten luck like this. And I don't want to go there, but then we've had some decisions this season that I would like to go back and say, what the fuck are we doing, right? Like with the shoves in the back, which seems to be enforced in a very strange way with us. You look at those things, and I would tell you, look, if we rolled the dice on those things again, right? On Madison, on Kulusevski, on Romero, on a few decisions, you roll the dice on that, we're at 29 points right now. Could we not be on 32, 34? Could we not? And
I don't see the benefit of kind of imagining.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what the benefit is. And what the benefit is when the margins are this slim, and we've got out of a situation with a manager, which none of us here liked at that point, we've got into a new situation. Why can I not say here that, hey, it kind of genuinely couldn't get any worse than what it was, with a little bit of better luck and maybe a slightly better approach. I think we do win 3 games and get those 9 or 10 points. And I'm saying, why is it so crazy to say that while it's possible, while it's something that could happen, while it's not an insane prediction to make that we will get relegated, I think it's not that likely. I think it seems likelier than it is, and it's far too likely to be acceptable.
What percentage would you put on it? Percentage chance?
5%.
5%.
I think 5% for a club like Spurs is ridiculously high. Spurs should always be 0% to get relegated. It should be something that's absolutely.
This is the reason we are here, Ariane, because people think like.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying it should be unthinkable. But because of the negligence.
I think it's between.
It's gotten to a point.
30-40% we're down. 30-40%.
I think saying it's above. I think if you say it's above 20%, it's the rain. It's the rain and the weather that you live in. I think that's what's talking about.
No, it's not. It's the situation. It's the situation we're in. It's the situation which we've seen
over
the course of the whole season. Look, it's the form that we're in. It's everything.
It's a lot of those things. But again, I think I'm not saying that all of that is due to bad luck. Obviously, we've been absolutely terrible for now 2 seasons running. But I'm saying in that stretch, not only have we been really poor, we've also been really unlucky. You put those 2 together.
Honestly, Ariane. Put this out to like anyone watching, right? Go and speak to any people and give the circumstances flat out and go, do you believe that Spurs have over the last 2-3 seasons or however long it's been, all the things that have happened in a series of events, right? Selling Harry Kane, not replacing him, our strike force being Solanke and Richarlison, even that compared to what we had before. Right. And then all the other things that happen, right? Then you finally get, when you have mismanaged a club so much, then when you're now on Schitt's Creek, then you leave a manager, you bring in a manager who's a win manager, who's go football. You know that it's football, it's go. You don't give him a big squad. He then is forced to play only really 11 players because he's a manager's always going to play his best team all the time. He's never going to use the squad or worry about 3 games a week. He's got to play his best team. And yet he's only got 11 good players to play his best team. So in the head of a manager, there's always a crisis. But you leave that manager with 3 games a week, so the load bearing is going to be beyond. So the Met department is going to tell that manager, and they're going to go to the higher ups, and they're going to say he needs to rotate these players. And he's going to go, you telling me that I have to play this player over that player? You're telling me I have to drop this player over that player? A manager is always going to go, no way. And then there's going to be injuries and injuries and injuries and injuries. right? And the manager's going to go, I have to play my best player. We've got 3 games a week. We're in the biggest competitions. I have to, there's nothing he's going to do there. So it's not the manager's problem, and it's not really the med department's problem for telling him you are going to get these players injured, right? So then the injuries happen, injury after injury after injury, and you still keep persisting, more and more injuries, more and more injuries. And then you come into the next season knowing that you've just had this season and you can't do this again to a manager, bringing in a new manager, sacking a manager who's won your first trophy in all these years. You sack him. You throw a hand grenade into all the goodwill built with the players, right? Another massive thing this is not bad luck. This is bad management. Then you bring a manager in who's not good for the style of the club from what they've just went through, and you don't give him a whole new team to bring his style of play in or play his way. You give him 5 players who are all actually sort of fitted to the last manager and the last style of play, and then you go forward and more injuries, and the team it does the same thing. He just has to try play his best.
And then we end
up
in this situation. Right.
Exact same situation. Here's what I'm saying. So it's a club not learning from their mistakes, just 100%. Not caring. 100%. That then causes a series of unfortunate events, not bad luck, because in a bad situation, unfortunate things will just keep happening. It's the law of averages.
Here's the thing. What you've said I don't disagree with you at all. That's not the issue that we're talking about here. I'm not saying that you're
dispels
wrong.
Bad luck. There's a reason.
That's like a spiritual argument. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, look, we've been horribly mismanaged. The decisions from the top have been shambolic. We don't deserve to be a team in the top half by any standard at all. We don't even deserve to be in the team that's in the mid-table.
And you've got to be brave to deserve luck. You've got to be brave and front-footed to deserve luck.
But that's a spiritual. Look, I'm not talking about what we deserve luck-wise. It is, because you're saying you have to be brave to deserve luck. I'm not saying we deserve anything better.
You just said about the bad weather. If you walk down a road you think that I feel bad, I hate everything bad's going to happen. You don't think something bad's going to happen?
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Let Ariane cook.
What I'm saying is, look, this situation is a product of mismanagement, right?
Yes,
it is. But the direness of it, the fact that it's genuinely, because look, you look at that squad on paper, you would say this is not a very good squad. This is probably a mid-table squad. This is maybe, if we're lucky, we'll break into the top 6, right? You look at that squad on paper, that's what you'd say. It's not a relegation squad. It's not, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at what's happened, and you'd say, look, compare to the drop off, what Spurs have been, massive, no question about that. So that's a sign of gross mismanagement. Look at the January window, what we did. Gross mismanagement.
Yep.
But the direness of the situation is also a product of bad luck. Now, what our attitude was towards it is one thing. But again, when I say it's a spiritual argument, it's like our attitude and our board's incompetence doesn't mean that's not why Madison did his ACL. That's not why.
No, but
I know that's not what you're saying. I know that's not what you're saying. Of course. My point, when you're up,
and when you're going for it, then bad luck doesn't actually really affect you that bad because you've got momentum.
I totally disagree with that because look, my biggest example of that would be, how did our first 10 games under Ange end? With one game where everything went crumble.
But why was that such a bad problem?
Why was that such a bad problem? Because of mismanagement. But what I'm telling you again is, if we had the same luck with injuries that Liverpool had, what if that run extends to 17 games? What if it does? Right? So when I say bad luck, I'm not saying that bad luck is the only reason that we've ever had things not go our way. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying we've had a tremendous number of things that have happened to us in the last 3 years. Some of them very good, some of them very bad. You could say it's very good that we ended up barely missing out on Champions League in the first season with Ange, got into the Europa League and won it. You could argue that was a good thing. It was good luck, right? You could say that because,
tell Ange that.
Right? You could say that. But at the same time, I could tell you that all these injuries, some poor decisions, the atmosphere, the fact that Frank blew up in our face, right? And he was just all those things. You could also say mismanagement and also an element of bad luck. And my point in that is, when we're in this last 11 game run-in where we're in this dire situation and we've changed the manager, hopefully brought in a different approach, what is there? Why can't I sit here and say, look, it's been so bad. It's been so bad from a management and like just a luck standpoint. Both of those things. I don't think it can get much worse. And I'm saying, I think if these changes are any percent better, if Tudor is any bit, and he might not, maybe he's worse, but if Tudor is any bit better than Frank, I think I can say, with a bit of better luck as a result of that, like you're saying, you do better things, you get better luck because you put yourself in those positions. With a bit of better luck and with a bit of a better approach, I think we'll be a lot more comfortable.
No, but that's fine. But Arian, that's fine. But what you're saying is, we need to rely on having better luck. But
that's not what I'm saying.
What you're misunderstanding is the word luck. Like, you're accounting for things as good or bad luck when they're not luck. There's a cause and effect.
Is it is it good or bad luck that our goal got ruled out for 2-2? Is that good or bad luck? What is that? What is that? Explain that to me.
The cause there is bad refereeing. Refereeing.
But that's got nothing to do with us or our mismanagement or decision. That's got so ultimately refereeing. This comes down to good or bad luck, right? Things over you would say over a 4-year period, things probably balance out, or a 5-year period.
You would think that VAR was there to avoid luck being a part of the issue.
But we know that that's not, like, again, that's into like the role of VAR and how it should be. At the end of the day, you look at that, you say good luck or bad luck. What would you say?
I would say in a situation like that, the fact that we don't get that goal, of course, is unlucky. But the problem is we then don't lose the game because of that moment.
I get what you're saying, but again, we
lose the game because of cause and effect.
But that radically changes the game, right? That still radically changes the game. Sure. Am I saying that it's an acceptable excuse to end up going to lose 4-1? No, but I'm saying if that's different, what else is different, right? Again, you can chain this back to any event. If that Sonny goal for 2-0 against Chelsea doesn't get ruled out, what happens?
Of course, but that's football. I don't know.
But you do call it luck, because when I'm saying the margins are so thin, I'm saying the slightest just difference in something that's total. I think in this context, when I say luck, I'm defining luck as something that is entirely out of your control, which does absolutely affect the outcome in some way, right? That's luck. So what I'm saying that something like a referee, something like a contact injury, right? That's just a total, like when Solanke was injured for 3 months in the beginning of the season, it's because he miskicked the ball. That's terrible luck.
There was a building up of an issue that it was before that issue. There's always this thing with luck.
And Maddison doing his ACL preseason.
Maddison should never have played that game because he was coming back and he wasn't ready to come back. That's why that happened. So with
it's
injuries,
easy to say that after the fact, right?
But I get what you're saying in game and dumb luck moments. I get that, right? And my point on them would be that they shouldn't bury a club, right? Because mismanagement is allowed.
They shouldn't bury a club. But my point is,
then with
the
injuries,
difference in points would be like 5 or 6.
Luck.
No, I'm saying the difference in point. I'm not saying that's why we're buried, but I'm saying we're on 29 points right now, and you 3 are all panicking that we're about to go down. I'm saying a few of those go our way. 29 points turns into 35. What now?
But the hardest thing to deal with.
A lot of the wins that we got, we probably didn't deserve as well. You could have gone the other way. Could have less points.
Yeah,
maybe, but. But you look at those and you look at, are those dumb luck moments? Like, for example, here's a game I'd show you. I probably use as an example is like Leeds, the 2-1 game, where they played very, very well, but there's like Brain said, like dumb luck would be like something like that's totally out of your control. Having a few chances and finishing them, I wouldn't really call that. I wouldn't put that in the same.
But the point is, you're saying there's a 5% chance of going down, and now
I do think there's a 5% chance.
But you're saying that's based on the fact that you think maybe we could get better luck in these last 11 games?
No, that's based on the fact that I think the situation we're in is a result of pretty much. I'm saying this version of the season that we've currently gone through in these 27 games. I think this is the worst 27 games that we feasibly could have played.
Right.
I don't think we really could have done any worse than this. Like, in terms of everything that could have, every single thing in these 27 games that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I'm saying if a little bit less goes wrong and we're a little bit better, we'll do enough. And I'm saying, I think there's a right.
Imagine me, Sim, and Ben walk into for some like kind of other universe, right? Me, Sim, and Ben walk into Hotspur Way, and they go, lads, what do we do to change this around? We probably provide a dossier of like 200 things, and it would be confuse everyone. So get it down to like 20 things, right? Because we're opinionated on it, and we think there has to be like.
And what I would say, get better luck. Is that what you're
saying? No, Arian, what do you want? You go. Oh, Matt, we just need a little bit of luck.
I think you guys are grossly misunderstanding what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. You guys, like, I'm not making that out to be a main cause. What I'm saying is it's a contributing factor. It's my defense of why I think it's 5% instead of 30. I'm saying this is right now, the situation we're in is a product of terrible mismanagement, which is the root cause of everything. Without mismanagement like this, we could be the unluckiest club of all time and we'd be mid-table, right? Obviously, the reason that we're in such a dire moment is because of how poorly we've managed.
Yeah,
but
and I agree with that, because then once you've managed it so badly, then you just have a little bit of bad luck. It's huge.
I'm saying we've managed it so badly that now, when we've opened ourselves up to a situation that we've gotten very unlucky this season. We've gotten very unlucky with a lot of things, and because we've been mismanaged so bad, instead of that unluckiness leading to an off season, it's led to a disaster season where something really terrible could happen. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying, things are going to be better if we're just a little more lucky. I'm saying we need to get to a point where every single thing could go wrong and we finish 10th. That's like if you think if Arsenal right now, if at Arsenal they get 9 injuries, they don't win the title, but they probably get Europa League, right? They get Europa League, they get something, right? But right now, but we've got those 9-10 injuries, and we're in a relegation battle. That's what I'm saying. But you don't get 9-10 injuries like this every season. You really don't. So if that didn't happen, we'd probably be like 12th.
We do. We got it last season.
Yeah, but that's something that it's still unusual.
But right? Arian, in that logic that you've just described, in the situation we're in, like what I think the three of us can't understand, with that logic you've just said there, it's a really scary situation.
But now put it together when I say that my concern isn't this season, it's the 6 years from now. My whole point is that if we don't get relegated this season, we play 1 game a week next season, so that we probably get less injuries as a result of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish 7th because we play 1 game. Because you look at Man United, who are playing 1 game a week. I get what
you're saying, and then the inherent problems get swept under the rug, and it never goes away.
Exactly, that's my concern. Because again, guess what? We have another.
I think that's every fan's concern, though. I think everyone is concerned about it. We all know that hierarchy is dreadful.
So then what I'm saying is I think we're probably not going to get relegated, but my issue is that when we don't, the problem's going to get swept under the rug, and we're not going to escape anything. We're just going to have this situation,
but the problem
worse.
We're saying is that there's no validity to we're probably not. We are looking at a situation where we probably are. On form, on paper, on actual fact of what the situation is right now.
I will give you 33-1, Brains. I'll give it to you.
I'll take that bet. I don't want to be betting on us going down, though, because I think it's almost a formality, unless if we don't win the next game, our problems become exponentially. Every game then becomes huge, becomes an immovable object. Yeah. So I genuinely think if we don't win the next game, it could be sealed at that point. You know?
So what? Wait. So you asked Ben what percent he thinks, and he said 30. What do you think? It's like 60%, 70%. What do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's above 50.
You think? I can't get behind that at all.
Because form. We are in a downtrend, and the teams around us are on an uptrend.
They're not. Not against.
They are. Ariane.
They very much
are. They are.
They're not. They're just not.
If you look at the form, if you watch how they're playing football, they are. They create chances. They move up the pitch really well. They don't have injuries.
I think they look better than they are because your perspective is that of a Spurs fan who thinks, and like right now.
No, I'm not a negative-headed Spurs fan.
I'm not saying you're a negative-headed Spurs fan. I'm saying you're a Spurs fan. So right now, any team that's moving,
it's one and the same thing.
That's moving the ball up the pitch looks a lot better than us, and so you're like, they don't look too bad. No, but like the reality.
Yeah, West Ham are getting points. West Ham are getting points.
I told you. I think it's going to be Forest. I think it's going to be Forest release. I don't think.
But they have good players.
It could be both.
What, you think Burnley come up, or we both go down? I don't get what you mean.
Forest are also on an upward trajectory.
Forest are going to get relegated.
I don't think they are.
I could see us getting relegated. I could see us finishing in the final relegation spot, and both of those teams finishing above us.
I think I'm very, very confident that we'll finish 16th, 15th.
Ariane, I got a super chat for you.
Deluded, Ariane.
I got a super chat for you, Ariane, from
that's
Shazoo.
fun to read, isn't it?
It says, I used to be Ariane a few years ago. Now I get why my Spurs OGs were always so pessimistic. Give it a few years, Ariane. You'll see the light.
Give it 6.
Give it 6 years. When we go down, I'll see the light. Look,
Ariane will be jumping onto the tracks.
Look, I'm just saying, like, again, there is you're right to point out the form. You're very right to point out the form, but again, my entire point is that the margins for that are a lot thinner than you might think.
Oh, we know that.
A lot thinner.
Yeah, we know that. But at the end of the day, that we keep being on the wrong side of them. Twice in 18 games we've won.
I'm saying, with a new manager and a new approach, I think with this squad, it's better than Forest, even with the injuries. It's better than Leeds, and it's better than West Ham.
I don't know. Forest defense right now against ours is better than ours.
So their last defense,
Milenkovic, Murillo.
Milenkovic, Murillo, and Nico Williams.
Nah,
it's better. No, it's way better.
It's better than what we put out yesterday.
Milenkovic, I think, is probably the most overrated player. I don't like Milenkovic at all. They were the most overrated player in the league.
Two of the best. Statistically, two of the best defenders.
So were Romero and Van de Ven.
Milenkovic.
They played like 19 games max.
Milenkovic and Murillo start the North London derby for us.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Murillo's a very good
Ole
player.
Aina does as well.
I think Milenkovic. Milenkovic made his name because he plays a style that works very well under the likes of Dyche and Nuno. I really don't think he's that
In
good
fact, you look at Aina, Milenkovic, Murillo, Anderson, potentially Gibbs White. They all start they all start the North London derby for us.
Yeah. We would chew your hand off for Hudson.
In terms of the team we have out right now, Ariane, you can't say that there's much.
The beautiful thing
is
in what is it, 3 weeks? You know, we will find out.
Ariane, but you do get like you have to concede that your standpoint is one of like belief and kind of optimism, and
I think it's certainly more optimistic than you guys. But I think you guys seem like you guys think
no, but that's only because we are
pessimistic, and I disagree with that.
I think 5% is crazy. I think 5% chance of going down is crazy. I think it's way higher than that. I don't know how you can come to that conclusion.
In any kind of discussion, you have to compile points and evidence. Like you have to say, like if someone comes along in any kind of football discussion and says form, injuries, the fact that a team is decimated in terms of confidence, the managers just come in and say these are good players with bad habits, right? You're looking at that, and you're looking that we haven't won a game. We've won 2 games in 18. Now we're expected to win 3 in 12 and 11. Like if you look at these things, that is you get a guilty conviction on that. If you're going into court, you're going to get that. Like if you go on your side, what your point is that we need luck and that worry about it 6 years down the line. And look, we just need a win. You know, you're not given any evidence to go like Spurs aren't going down here. If anyone's listening to this,
because the evidence,
what you're saying we need. You're saying we just need.
I'll tell you, because
all of us to have American optimism.
Look, the evidence. Look, it's circular because the evidence that I'm saying. If my whole point is like, look, we've been really poor, but I think there's.
You're saying we need Eckhart Tolle or something.
He's saying there's been evidence tampering. That's what he's saying.
I'm saying that I think that will improve.
We need some good luck here.
You're telling me that I need to prove to you with empirical evidence of stuff that's not happened yet. What I'm saying,
not empirical evidence, just what like the evidence we've just given, which is not anecdotal. It's just the facts of form, our injuries, our inability to play a competitive team in many ways. All the things I said.
I'll tell you, my argument works significantly better by picking apart yours than presenting my own evidence. I'll tell you, because I can look back. Like, look, when Leicester won 5 in a row, and obviously I'm not talking about when they won the league after, but when they won 5 in a row to survive, what evidence was there to say they were going to do that? None. What am I gonna do?
Same with Wolves last season when they won 6 in a row, and that was under the manager that Nottingham Forest have just got.
But again, like that doesn't mean he's gonna do it again, right? Like a lot of that evidence is it's circumstantial, and you have to wait for like a run to happen to say, look, this is promising. We've had only one game sample under Tudor.
Yeah, but those things you can't predict are gonna happen. They just happen, or they.
I don't think. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you simulate the season, for lack of a better word, and you look at the games. You look at the fact that I think we've got, again, the easiest fixture list, and I think we've got a manager who's got a very, very good record coming in mid-season. I guess that's a piece of evidence that I can present to you.
I think that's still optimism.
These things don't correlate to Tottenham, though. These things don't correlate to Tottenham. This guy has won every single first game of a job. He comes to Tottenham and loses.
Look at those first games. How many of them were a game that's as gargantuan of a mismatch as the North London derby is at this moment?
Well, he played Juve. His first game for Lazio was Juve, I think.
But is that as big of a miss? I'm not talking about a derby. I'm saying is that as big of a mismatch? Like you look at. There's few, like, again, the gap between us and the top of the Premier League is so much bigger than the gap of any two clubs in any
we can talk about mismatches all we want, but Wolves just gave Arsenal a pretty good game, and we would all think we're better than Wolves.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you have to consider is how much were Arsenal up for that game. I think that was probably the determining factor, not really how much Wolves were up for that game.
These are all things that we can't argue because these are like unknowables, you know. But that's what
I'm telling you. They're intangibles, and you're telling me I need to give you like a case that I can't really give you in the way that you're wanting, but I can pick apart your argument and say, look,
you can't pick apart the argument because you can't tell us that the form we are currently on is going to save us.
I agree, but what I'm telling you is you can't tell me that the form we're currently on is guaranteed to continue. That's my whole point.
Not guaranteed, but we're saying it's more than 5%. You're saying it's 5% chance.
The reason I think it's 5%, again, and the reason I'm saying it's 5% is I'll ask you this question. Do you think this season could have been much worse than it already has been?
But my whole point is this. Bad. That's the point. Until right now.
It's been that bad. I'm saying up until right now. But we've finally made a pivot, right? We've made a pivot. Now, the question will be, do you sincerely think that this pivot will be will have no effect? Because I'm saying if it has any sort of positive effect, because of how bad the season's been, it's been so bad that I genuinely
what you're not looking at is it can have a positive effect and it can still send us down.
I think if it has a positive effect, I guess I disagree on that. I think the situation is dire. It's really bad. But I think if we have a slightly look right now, our points per game right now is like 39. We finish on 39 points. Points per game right now. Do the math. And I'm saying that's enough to keep us up. So if I'm saying already we're on track, if I think 39 is a magic number, and we're on track with this shit form, and I think we get a little better that pushes up to 40, I think we survive. And is that crazy?
The points per game is heavily inflated by the points we picked up in the first 5 games of the season. It's heavily inflated by that. If you take out those first 5 games or however many, we're probably on the similar points per game as West Ham, if not worse.
But I can play that. I can play the game too, and I say if you take out such and such game, if you take out this game,
but you would tell me if you take out West Ham's last 6 games, you know they'll be terrible. But they're currently in that form. They're currently in that upward trajectory. That's the whole point.
But we were in that form, and then it stopped. So why? Like that's
but we were in there in August, in September.
So why weren't we in it in October?
Frank showed his true colors, I guess. It just
because form doesn't last forever. Form doesn't last forever. That's my whole point. Like we were in.
I mean, it's been 18 games and we've won 2. Yeah, form lasts quite long. I
understand. Form lasts long sometimes, but my whole point is that this is as bad as the season could have gotten. It can't get much worse, and at this juncture,
it can get much worse. It can get much worse. That's the whole point. It can get much worse.
I really don't think. You look at the season.
We get another injury. Say Xavi gets injured, like we got no creativity. Say we get a couple more injuries, we're down, and we don't even. It doesn't even matter what you play. Like what you're saying is you just require optimism and hope to.
I don't require optimism.
Positivity.
I'm saying as bad as it's been, our points per game projects us at 39 points.
Now, Aaron, what this kind of sounds like is like we're 3-0 down at halftime and we're down to 10 men, and you're like, we only have a 5% chance of losing this game because it can't get much worse.
No, because 3-0 down. No, I think 3-0 down at halftime and 10 men would be if we're in Burnley's position.
Okay, fine. We're 1-0 down at halftime with 10 men.
We're not even down. We're getting battered, and it's still 0-0 at halftime is what's happening because we're above the relegation zone. Sim, look at the table. We're not in it yet.
Yeah.
We're not in it yet. Yeah, we might end up being in it. I'm saying
we're
5%.
probably down to 9 men in that analogy then.
So it's what?
0-0 and down to 9 men.
I don't think so because again, I think Forest are the favorites to go down. Look, like you said, what are odds? 1 to 4, 4 to 1, right? What teams are above us? There's a consensus that we're not or like what team's likely to go down than us? The consensus isn't that Spurs are the likeliest team to go down.
Yeah,
I don't know about
we're the third likeliest team to go down at this point.
Third. So who are the 2 teams above us?
Above us,
West Ham and
Leeds.
Forest.
Oh yeah, West Ham and Forest.
West Ham. Okay, so West Ham and Forest. West Ham and Forest, I think, are in a worse situation. I think West Ham probably better because they're on good form. But again, form changes a lot quicker than you think, right? You say, what if Bowen gets injured? What then? Right? Like we can play these what if games, but you can't play that what if game with me, and I can't play it with you. So when I'm
playing what if games on form right now. We look like we're going down. Like we need a little bit of a miracle. We need an intervention.
We don't need a miracle. We just need.
We do. We need something magic.
It's not. It wouldn't be miraculous for us to win 1 game out of the next 4.
On current form, it would be. We've won 2 in 18. I think that's kind of miraculous to win the next game against Fulham, who are playing really well.
I didn't say the next game. I said the next couple of games, next 3-4 games. That's not miraculous. And the reason it's not miraculous, by the way, is because it's very important. It's a very important detail that we've appointed a new manager. It's a very important detail. And I get that your point is the job is gargantuan and the situation's dire. And I'm saying, look, we've appointed a new manager. We're changing our approach. That could just the fact that it's novel. We know what a new manager bounce is, right? That novelty alone can carry us just 2 points on it, a couple of games on its own, right? 3 points.
You know what? I'm massive, bait and switch here. I think Aria's right. I just think we're looking at this all wrong. I think we just got to be positive about it. I think we just need a little bit of stroke of luck, and there's no chance we're going down.
5%.
I'm gonna try
5%.
5%. I think if we repeat the season 100 times, we go down 5 times. I really think that.
Sim, what do you think the percentage is that we go down?
I would say right now it's a good 40%, 35% chance. 35 to 40%.
I would even say that's positive. I think it's 50 plus. Ben, what did you say it was?
I said about 30%. Yeah. I'll say 30, 35.
What's the average of all this? I know I'm dragging
I'll say
it down
35%.
So 35. So together we make 40. He makes 40. You said 70?
Let's do a poll.
I said 50.
Let's do a poll. Let's see if we could. Percentage chance
I'm going by Occam. I'm going by Occam's razor. When something looks like the most likeliest thing, it 80-20%.
I don't think it's the likeliest thing that we go down.
Ronnie in the comments saying the markets are suggesting it's 18 to 20%.
Okay, so I can. That's probably as high as I'd go. That's like I said earlier.
That's quite a jump from 5%.
Yeah, but I said earlier the highest I could even accept is 20%. I said that. So I really think, again, it's really bad. And I think, again, the biggest problem is the standards that it's gotten this bad. But at the end of the day, I don't think that we're going to go down. We might go down, but I don't think we're going to go down.
I feel like you watched the Never-Ending Story, and when his horse was in the quicksand and dying, I think you were like, this horse got what it takes. I think it's hard. And just as the horse's head was going into the sand, and he was crying and screaming. Was it a tree or was he crying and screaming? And I reckon you were sitting in the area and going, nope, not sad yet. I think that horse, he's going to pull it out. And then the horse is underneath, bubbles are coming up, and pretty sure that, which is why I think we're at now. I'm pretty sure you were sitting there going, "When's the horse coming back?"
When your analogy that the horse is already underneath the quicksand, I cannot accept that to be analogous to our situation.
Nah, I've been a little bit facetious there, but I do think we're in quicksand. I think
moment,
we're all legs are in the quicksand.
Look up the survival rates of being stuck in quicksand.
I mean,
is it over 5%?
if you're a horse,
It's not
in a
dangerous.
mythical movie.
Yeah, no, I really. How likelihood of surviving stepping in quicksand? Let's find this out. I'm curious now.
Depends. There's no way of quantifying it because quicksand in like the Sahara or quicksand in in water it's all different stuff.
20 to 40% is winning the poll.
34% of people think it's 20 to 40%.
Under
10%
10%.
of people are.
Under 10% is at 12%.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised
right there. That's 12%
how
of
positive
all
it is. I'm actually really surprised how positive. I thought we would all been like we're 50% plus going down. I genuinely think it's 50, and I don't even think that's conflating negativity. I think my 50% of positivity is that something magical can happen, even if you don't want to call it magical.
I don't.
Even if you don't want to call it magical, 50%. There's a 50% chance we batter Fulham.
Like you said, what if
chance.
Xavi gets injured? I think we're one disaster away from going down. I think
What percentage
What
percentage chance are West Ham to go down, do you reckon?
20.
20. So we're 5 and they're 20. So you're putting an 80, 75% chance on Forest.
I didn't know that we were doing a percentage between the three teams, but
I would put.
They're obviously higher than us.
I'd probably put 50 of it at Forest and then the rest of it on Leeds.
What would you say, Brains? Because, I mean, if Spurs were at 50%.
Yeah, Leeds,
no, I know.
Leeds are good, but they could easily go down.
If it was comparative, I definitely think there's... If you're just saying team by team, I would say that, obviously, West Ham being in the bottom spot, I still think there's a high chance, but I would almost put it at like 40, just alone. You would think you definitely have to put it at 50, but then because of their form, I think it knocks it down. I think they've got previous of like fighting battles and winning them down there, so I think they have a little bit of something about
Liverpool
them right
next,
now.
by the way.
You can't put West Ham at 40% and Tottenham at 50%.
No, I know, because I didn't know that we were going to do a percentage of the three. Obviously,
so let's do a percentage. A percentage of the three might be a better representation of what we actually think.
Yeah. So then, obviously, I would have it as... I would say... Forest, I say, would be the least. I would say like 20% is Forest. And I'd say that I'd say maybe 50-30 then. West Ham 50, us 30.
And Leeds 0. You don't think Leeds go down at all? You don't think there's no chance?
Where are Leeds? Are they like how many points?
2 points above us. They're 2 points above us.
2 points above us.
Yeah, fuck, they're probably in it as well.
But
how many do you want to split this pie chart?
They have the most favourable fixtures and
for the record,
yeah.
Leeds play City next. Leeds play City next. Forest play Brighton next, and West Ham play Liverpool next. We play Fulham.
But Fulham have been a good team.
Every team in the Premier League's good. Like we're not gonna go to yes, Fulham are
one thing
we're not good.
But one thing I would don't know if
the fourth best on the Champions League, mate.
33-1, mate.
Yeah.
Season's gone so far. I don't think you can look at fixtures and go, oh, this team's playing, a top 6 team, because that's not really worked out. If anything, this season, that the lower teams had a chance of doing well against them. Like, I think our best chance of getting points in the next few games is Liverpool, because Liverpool are looking so void.
No,
we're never getting points. We're never getting points at Anfield. I guarantee you that.
Liverpool looks so bad right now. It is quite shocking how bad the football
look bad right now.
I know, but if there's any, but my point is,
I think
West Ham don't look.
I know this is such a random pivot. Like he's arguing that we're
giving. That isn't a pivot. I just said I'm giving.
Harry's like, you're deluded, Brains.
You're so optimistic. I can't believe you.
No, I'm playing devil's advocate and giving one to your side of the argument and saying one thing you couldn't do Like, if you were looking at, like, one of the things I would not put down on my list of evidence would be the list of games to come. I wouldn't use that because it's been this season, what we haven't seen obvious, like the lower teams are getting smashed by the top teams. If anything, we're seeing the top teams drop points. So, and then if you look at some of their form, especially Liverpool, probably in the worst form of the top 5-6. So, and with that, then you could then do one of these kind of fantastical jumps of, well, we could get points off Liverpool, But for me,
I understand what it is you're saying.
For me, I'm saying the next game is so important to win for in terms of trying to get that manager bounce, because I do think that's an element. That is something you can put on the table as a real thing. But he needs a win now. Like if he gets a point and then we get a win after, fine, it can build. But the team, the squad, the players, they need something good for them. They need the legs to feel a bit of energy. Yeah, so a win would rejuvenate them, and then maybe if we get a win in our next game, I'm definitely moving more towards.
I was gonna say this.
Yeah,
if we win
because of positivity,
right? If we beat Fulham, what does your percentage drop to?
I think it drops dramatically.
It drops
dramatically. Yeah,
huge.
Now, now, who do you think is the favorite for that game, Fulham or us?
Fulham
right now, Fulham.
And if you had to, I think the betting odds are going to probably be in Fulham's favor. But what do you like? If you give it a percent chance they win that game, what would you say the percent chance is that we win that game?
Of Fulham winning that game?
Of us winning that game?
Oh, I was winning that game.
I would say 30%.
Now, is that not a whole lot higher than 5%? Now, do you understand why I say? Now, if we have a 30% chance now rationalize this. If we have a 30% chance of winning a game,
take your American optimism somewhere else, man.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that you innately believe what I believe. Because if we have a 30% chance of winning a game that you say would dramatically decrease our chance of going down, then my 5% doesn't look so crazy now, does it?
No, it still looks crazy.
Yeah, it still
looks batshit crazy.
It doesn't look crazy because rationalize game by game. Rationalize it game by game.
Yeah, but rationalize it game by game. Is sure you could obviously build a simulation of the positive things that could happen, but we lose that game, and I think we're gone. I don't think there's a chance.
So, okay, it goes right down. We lose that game. What does your percentage go up to?
80, 90?
Nah, it's not that high. It's
80,
not that high.
90% if we lose to Fulham.
If we lose to Fulham, what I'm saying is,
no, you're crazy, brains.
What I'm saying
take
is,
your English depression somewhere else, man.
But what I'm saying is, this team needs a shot in the arm like I've never seen before.
Yeah, 100%.
This is why we are the worst of all the teams right now. Is that we look so depleted, and we've just lost to our biggest enemies. We knew we were going to lose the game, but we lost in a way that really hurt. And it hurt the manager. The manager's sitting there looking like he's never looked before in his life. He looks so depressed.
We had 2-2 there instead of 3-1.
Of course, but the team needs a shot. And honestly, I don't think you can afford, yes, I take a draw, of course, I snatch a hand off for it if we win the next game. And yeah, you could build something, but then there's so much risk in that. You get a win next game, and our chances go through the roof. Not because we become more likely to win the game after, because our players believe they can win again. Yeah, that is massive.
Don't worry, we're winning.
That is the kind of be all and end all magical thing that happens. And I, as a football player, I do believe in magic, but you have to fight for your magic. You have to have. You have
Peter Pan. I do believe in fairies. I do.
Hey, that ain't Sam. But no, honestly, I just think. I think if you lose the game, though, as much as I think so much positive can come if you win the game, so much negative comes if you lose the game.
I disagree. I think the upside of winning that game significantly outweighs the downside of losing it, because
I agree.
Again, my whole point, again, is I think we have a few more shots in the chamber, right, to get that ball rolling. That's why I say 5%. I think we have, look, we have 9 lives. We're down to our last one right now. We really are. Like I said, one disaster. we're one.
No, you think we've
big
got 7 or
injury.
8 lives more?
No.
left.
My whole point. I'm saying like we've taken a lot of blows this season. That's when I say unlucky. My whole thing is we've taken so many blows this season. We're down to our last one. If we get that one, if we get Xavi, if we get like 2 of our strikers again, if we get Van de Ven, now we're in trouble. If that happens, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But our most winnable game comes after that. Palace at home. We have that.
Right,
that's
or
Ben and Sim, I guarantee you, we lose this Fulham game. You're coming in and you're sitting there. I'm just saying that Ben and Sim, I know this is gonna happen. We lose that Fulham game. You guys are coming in there and you're going, we are down. We are down. Especially if it's a really disgusting performance. I think you're coming in and you're going, we're down.
If it's a horrible performance, his arms all over the place, and you've got Richarlison missing sitters.
If we have one more big injury or like another like again, if we have one more position go down basically in Van de Ven or Simmons or a couple of our strikers or something like that, if we have something like that happen again, or we lose 2 or 3 games on the bounce, like we don't win any of the next 3 games, that's the final nail in the coffin. But right now we still have a little bit of life in us, I think is what I'm saying. And
yeah. And I'm saying a nail gets hammered into the coffin. One nail at least gets hammered into one corner of that coffin if we lose the next game. You've got 3 more nails. I say you lose the next game. That's why if I'm the manager, I'm saying
I can understand that. But again, I think I'm saying that I think the likelihood of us getting nothing from the next 3 games and not being able to build off anything, and then on top of that it still goes. I just think all that put together, you aggregate all that, I think 5% chance that all happens.
Ariane, how many points are we getting in our next 5? So
our next 5?
Yeah, Fulham away.
Oh yeah, what is it? Let me see what it is. Fulham away, and then what? Palace, Fulham,
Palace at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home, and Sunderland away.
Do I want to get clipped here? Do I want to get clipped? That's the question.
Yeah. Too late for that kind of thing. You've been clipped so many times.
I will say that I expect us to get at least 6 points. At least 6. And I think I would probably say that I wouldn't be surprised if we get 9.
9.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm saying 4 points max.
I think we get 6
games,
at least.
4 points.
Yeah.
I think we get 6. I think we get at least 6. And you know what?
Where are those 6 coming from? Please tell me. Where are those 9 coming from? Where are you getting 9 from?
The 9 is, I think, Fulham, Palace, and Forest are all winnable games. That's why I'm saying 9. I think Sunderland we probably lose. And I think Liverpool.
I think Ariane, I think you're dramatically underrating Nottingham Forest here.
I think you guys, and I think the opposite. I think you're dramatically overrating Nottingham Forest. That's what I'm saying. I think we have just radically different views of what Nottingham Forest are.
Yeah,
this is always going to be a conversation of faith and hope over, pragmatic.
Yeah, I'm the faith.
So you're going 0 points,
guy. You guys are the objective, statistical.
I'll give you my points.
Overlords.
I'll give you my points for the next 5 games, and then I have to get out of here. I'm getting signaled that the close.
Yeah, I think we'll end the stream anyway. But Brain's gone.
I think 5 points.
5.
And I hope that's wrong, but I think that's 5 points.
And then look, we've got Brighton and then Wolves after that. And then look, Villa, which is poor. And then we got Leeds. Look, we've got favorable fixtures.
So Ariane, you think we're getting more points, more wins in our next 5 games than we did in our last 18?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
Definitely.
I am going to watch this over and just try brainwash myself into Ariane, who I think should be a cult leader.
I'll tell you this as well. I'm going to get clipped if I say that. I think we may well finish 13th come into the season, 13th, 12th.
No.
I don't think we're finishing it that low at the end, just because of our fixtures.
On that note,
you look at Brighton and Palace. I think they might just drop down because they don't have much to play for. We have something to play for. We have easier fixtures than Leeds, Forest, and West Ham. We could just.
Dare I ask about the Champions League? I don't.
And then we win the Champions League. And then we end up in the Champions League, and then we buy the best players in the world, and then we win the league next season. Yeah.
And then
But we'll still, you
in
still
six-
get your train.
Yeah,
And then we won the
exactly.
World Cup.
6 years.
And then we won the World Cup, and then we get relegated in 6 years' time.
All right, sweet. Let's end the stream there. 17% saying under 10%, 23% saying 10 to 20, 31% saying 20 to 40, and 29 saying over 40%.
So it's like dead even, pretty
Yeah.
much. My
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Over and between 20 and 40 and over 40.
Absolutely.